is that cheesy sounding light and love. You are a divine being of light. Your true nature is pure love, and you have a purpose. Welcome to the Energy Within podcast, helping you to embrace your weirdness, beat imposter syndrome, and step into your soul's purpose. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki master teacher, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode 165, and still recording on the phone. Currently recording right after teaching my grit class, so I'm sweaty and disgusting and gross, but I'm alone. I'm not in a car, so I'm taking advantage of some time while I have it, and wanted to share a thought that I had about sort of a manifesting thing, but a little bit about intuition, because I know for a lot of people in my community, in my group, people that I talk to, my clients, that reconnecting, and I say reconnecting because I 100% believe that we were 100% connected to our intuition from birth, but we, for whatever reason, a multitude of reasons, we start to disconnect, the majority of us, as we get older. So I say reconnect to your intuition. It's something that a lot of us tend to struggle with. We have all of that self-doubt. We have that imposter syndrome. We don't trust ourselves because we've been taught in many cases to look outside of ourselves for confirmation, for education, for information, for what to know, what to believe, what to understand. And I'm not saying any of that is wrong. I'm not saying that's all bad, but we also know the phrase that we already have all the answers that we need within us. I believe there's a balance there, which I have another thought for another episode to kind of touch on that in the future. But as far as this thought that I had, the difference between intuition and a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't know if you've ever been this way or if you know someone who's like this, where they tend to typically expect the worst, and then lo and behold, the worst happens, and for them it's confirmation, and they go, see, I knew that was going to happen. The question there that I want to dissect is that actually intuition, or is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Now, on some level, a self-fulfilling prophecy is manifestation, and that can be good if you are getting what you were asking for, what you were focused on in the positive, something that you actually wanted versus something like expecting the worst to happen. But in this sense, I mean self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense of always expecting the worst and then the worst happens. So I don't believe, if this is something that's happening over and over and over again, where it's always expecting the worst and then the worst always happens. If it's not one thing, it's another. When it rains, it pours. All of that kind of mindset, that is a negative self-fulfilling prophecy. That is not intuition. That is not predicting or having any kind of a gut feeling that it's going to go that way. I believe, and you can debate me on this, you don't have to believe me, but I believe that is more of a frequency, a vibration problem than intuition. Because it's one thing to have an intuitive nudge, a feeling that you can't explain. You don't know why you feel that way. You don't know where it came from, but you are either feeling something somewhere in your body, or maybe you're hearing something or seeing something intuitively, seeing something clairvoyantly in your mind's eye that's really giving you this strong sense that you should or shouldn't do something, or that something might go a certain way, and you're really feeling strongly about that. And then it happens. that's probably intuition. But if it's more, this is your mindset about things, you're always expecting the worst, you're giving into that self-doubt, even if it's just a tiny little bit of self-doubt in the back of your head, you're giving into it, you're letting it take over, then that's you putting out that vibration, putting out that frequency. And it's not that you're being punished for putting that out. It's more that that's what you are aligning with. So that is what you receive. That's what you're putting out. So that's what you get back. So the deal is that if you were to instead expect the best, or at least expect a more positive outcome, regardless of what maybe your intuition is saying, you have a stronger chance of aligning with that better outcome and allowing that to happen, allowing yourself to receive that. There could also be a block if you feel like you're always getting the negative, but you really want the positive. Maybe there's a block there where you're not allowing yourself to receive the positive because somewhere your self-worth stopped at this particular frequency that aligns with these things that always tend to come into your circle, into your auric field. So the way to get out of that loop is to clear that block and raise your vibration. As you raise your vibration, it's easier to trust the nudges when it is your intuition. Because instead of your mind, your ego getting in the way and telling you you're going to fail, this negative thing is going to happen no matter what you do. It doesn't matter how hard you try or you suck, you're not good enough. Don't you remember what happened last time when you failed? All of those thoughts are getting in the way and taking over when you're in that lower vibration. When you're in the higher vibrations, approaching vibrations where love, joy, enlightenment, excitement, all of those more fun emotions, more positive, happier emotions are, you are more open. So it becomes, over time with practice, easier to notice the nudges that you get, where you're feeling them, what's going on when you're feeling them, so that next time it happens and you notice the same thing again, you can start to trust yourself because you go, oh, last time I felt this in my stomach, in maybe my solar plexus or something. I felt this nudge here. I felt this same flittering, the same electricity. And I just had this feeling, I just knew. I didn't know how I knew, but I knew that this outcome was probably going to happen. And then it did. And now look, I have that same feeling again. And I'm having another nudge that this is going to have this type of positive outcome. And then watch it happen again. And then that's how you start to practice and get into trusting your intuition rather than falling. I don't mean to make it sound bad because it's normal, but that rather than constantly falling into those lower vibrations where you allow the self-doubt to lead you to these self-fulfilling prophecies where you're predicting the worst because you're in that low frequency and because you're letting the mind take over, you're letting the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome take over. And like I said, it's normal to have the ups and downs, but the more practice you get, the more you step into trusting yourself, the more you slow down and pay attention to the nudges, to the feelings that you get, to the thoughts that pop into your head, to the signs that show up around you, to trusting that the signs mean something, that the nudges mean something, and then allowing it to play out. The more you do that, the more ups you lean into, the more ups you're going to have. The downs are normal, so don't get down on yourself if you dip down, if you have an off day, an off week, even an off month. Who cares? It's fine. We're human. Don't beat yourself up for being human because you're human for a reason. Your soul made a decision, maybe even signed a contract to be you right now in this lifetime, going on this specific path to achieve a specific outcome, to reach a certain level of enlightenment, to evolve, to create and experience who you really are, which is a direct, actual, literal piece of God. You don't have to agree with me, but that is my firm belief. Your true source is that cheesy sounding light and love. You are a divine being of light. Your true nature is pure love, and you have a purpose. So if you're struggling with your mindset, with these self-fulfilling prophecies, we need to get you out of that loop. We need to shake you out of that frequency and help you start to rise up. And there are so many different ways you can do this, so many things that you can do. It's up to what you feel aligned with, what you feel works for you, what you feel drawn to, what you feel called to. So if you're here, it's highly likely that either doing Reiki or learning Reiki might be one way that you raise your vibration. It could be getting into a meditation practice, praying regularly, yoga, writing, singing, dancing, drawing, doing things that make you happy, that make you feel joy. Because the more you can get into that joy vibration, the easier it becomes to stay there, or at least get back there more quickly than you used to be able to. So I hope this is making sense. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm rambling too much, because I'm just kind of trying to put my thoughts together as they come. But it was a thought that I had that I felt was necessary to explain the difference between. Because just because you or this someone that you know, asking for a friend, just because they predict the worst and then seem to most often be correct, doesn't necessarily mean it's their intuition. Because I kind of don't think that anyone who is truly trusting their intuition is only ever going to find negative things. Because it's in those higher vibrations that I believe you find the strength and the belief to trust your intuition, to trust that these are divine nudges and that there's nothing selfish about them, that it's you co-creating with God, co-creating with the universe when you get these intuitive nudges. And especially if you know that you're getting nudges, but you keep not trusting them, but then you keep getting nudges. It's like God's knocking on the door like, hello, trying to help you here. So I know this is more of a command than a help, but trust. Please just trust. Because the more you do, the easier it gets. And the more you can learn the difference between when it is your intuition and when it is you getting in your own way. I'm still not perfect at this myself, because you can be super attached to an outcome that you want to. So then it can be really hard to lean in and trust your intuition. But then that's why we have tools like meditation and prayer and Reiki and card pulls and whatever else you use to try to connect, to get answers when you are too attached. And you need that outside force to come in and tell you what's up. So if you would like that help, I invite you to come and do a Reiki session with me, or you can do a card pull, which are currently done by email. I have yet to update anything to try to make it available as a Zoom. If you're interested in doing a Zoom oracle card reading, message me and we can chat about how to set that up and how much that would cost. I don't have dates set up yet, but expect probably in the beginning of the year to see another Reiki Level 1 class open up. I will also be running a Reiki Master Level. You do need to already be certified in Reiki Levels 1 and 2, but if you happen to have that and you are looking for a teacher for Master Level, stay tuned, because I'm not going to do a big launch for it, so you can message me too if you're interested, but I will have that running, and then I promise I will give you more details about this other bigger program that I'm working on putting together. I'm not sure yet. I might do something kind of crazy. And if there's any of you out there who trust me enough and feel these nudges that even though you don't know exactly what this program is yet, because I don't know either, if the little hints that I've given you here and there are enough to make you know that it's something you want to do, I might do a Black Friday special where you can get in on it for a really, really low price than what I'm probably going to actually offer it for. I haven't fully decided if that's something I'm going to do yet. But if you are interested, and if I do it, I will let you know. You have to be on my email list or at least in my Facebook group, The Energy Within, for that. So make sure that you are in one or both of those places. And if any of this episode resonated with you, I would sincerely appreciate if you would help the show reach as many people as possible. Share it on your social media. Tag me at I am Carrie Jokala. Send it to a friend, text it to them, or even leave me a 5-star rating and a positive review. So I do hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time.